questions post-webinar. And over on the right-hand side, you will notice that there is an area for you to add your questions, whether it's at the end of the webinar, or you could certainly add your questions throughout the webinar as you think of them. And then what I'll do is I'll stay on the line to answer as many questions as I can post the presentation. So as most of you know, MembersFirst does have a full reservation suite. We have everything from junior program registrations, tea times, event, dining, tennis, courts, overnight, fitness, massage, and conference room reservations. So we do have a full reservation suite here at MembersFirst. You can certainly contact anybody in our client development office or your client services manager if you have any questions. For today's presentation, we all know that spring is arriving here. And for those of us up north where we are at MembersFirst, since we are based out of the Boston office, we are all looking forward to that time. But what that also means for most of our clubs is that everybody's trying to plan their summer activities at the club. So what we have found is that our junior programs module has been able to help a lot of our parents and our administrators make the organization of your junior programs a little bit more streamlined for the season. So a quick overview before we jump into the demo is overviewing some of the benefits for your members. So your parents, some of the things that we found that the parents like about the module is that it streamlines the process for them. They can register all of their children or just some of their children any time of day or night. They can also register their children for single sessions or multiple sessions. That way, if one child can make 1 week and the other child can make all of the weeks, that's great. They don't have to fill out multiple forms anymore. We can also use the online database to drive members to the program registration module, which makes it really great for you to be able to communicate to your members through your email marketing tools to be able to send them directly to the program registrations. Confirmation emails is another great thing that most of our parents like at the clubs that have implemented this junior programs module. Confirmation emails go out automatically to the members so that they can easily view all the registrations in one area. However, they can also view their full season registrations for the junior programs on their private website as well. Now, it's not just about the parents, because most of you on the call today are administrators on the website, so there's a lot of benefits for you as well. Your junior program managers will be happy to hear that there's no more PDF forms. I can't tell you how many clubs I see try to manage their junior programs through Excel sheets, or they try to manage it through PDF forms. It's a lot of paperwork, especially when you look at waivers and guidelines and anything else that goes along with a junior program. So no more forms. Everything is within the database, and it lives within MembersFirst. The other thing is that you can streamline the camp registration process for administrators. Now, if a member does not want to register their children online, that's okay. The administrators can register the children online for the parents, for the grandparents as well. All of the administrators for each program is going to be different, so one of the things that we would want to review with you is how your current programs are set up. The program module has the ability to do single sessions or multiple sessions. Also, you can get some great reporting, whether you're using the reporting for attendance sheets, rosters, trying to figure out which members are booking the most, or just to filter down the child participant so you could see which child is in which program throughout the entire summer. So why don't we actually just jump right into the software. Today we're going to be using the Club at Neptune Cove, which for most of you who are MembersFirst clients, this is our demo site, so you are probably very familiar with it. But the Club at Neptune Cove is our demo site. It is a fictitious club. However, what we can do is we'll be able to log in as a member and make a few registrations. The first part of this presentation is going to be focused on the member experience. So this is what your parents and grandparents will experience when they log into the website. After that, we'll jump over and do a high-level overview of the administrative section. So for today's demo, we will actually log in. I'm going to use my administrative login, but I'm going to impersonate a member, and I'm going to log in as my buddy Frank. Once we're in the members area of the website, placing your junior programs can be literally placed anywhere. You may have a junior programs primary navigation area, which is certainly fine. You may have some utility navigation that says you could sign up for the summer or junior programs, depending on what you call it. Or some people may have them as call to action buttons over here on the right-hand side. Okay? Placing your content is up to the club, and we could certainly offer recommendations based off of your website design. For today's presentation, we'll jump into junior programs. And at the club at Neptune Cove, we actually have a few different sessions or a few different programs that are available to the members this year. And so one of the things that you can do is you can have different types of sessions, and you can have them appear on different pages. So for example, I have all of my junior programs in one page. However, if you wanted to separate, maybe you use it for junior sailing, or maybe you use it for junior tennis, or maybe you use it for junior golf, or use it for your swim team. You can separate those into different pages if you'd like, or you could consolidate them all into one area. Now, each program that I have here, you'll notice that I've got the 2017 Winter Junior Program, the Summer Program, and we also have an after-school program as well. In each of those programs, they have separate sessions. So as you can see, the Winter Junior Program is only showing the active sessions right now. So you can see that I've got week 13 through 21. I've got the dates. I can put meeting information if you'd like, the cost, and then the ability to register. I can also do that for other sessions, such as the after-school spring program. Now, for this one, we actually did week 1 through the entire week, or you could do it on certain days. And as you can see, for this one, we have a short description for the after-school program. For this one, I'm actually going to go to sign up my children for the first 2 weeks. It is a wizard-driven process, so you can't get to the next page until you finish the first one. Once I select next step, this will now take me to the registration page. What this will do is it will actually take the children or the dependents from my profile as a member, and it will bring them over to this page. Now keep in mind, Sean and James may be age 8 and 10, so they may not have access to the website. One thing that you will want to make sure is that you have your membership database set up correctly, whether it's in your accounting system, if we're taking a roster feed, or if you have it in just the website alone, you'll want to make sure that there are dependent profiles attached to the parent accounts. That way, when I log in, even though Sean and James do not have access to the website, me as the parent, I can still register them for junior programs. So as you can see, I've already registered both children for the first program, okay? I'm actually going to register them both for the second program as well. As I scroll down, some of the information that you will want to attach, these are built using our custom form module within the website. So, of course, I want to be able to put general information for their emergency contact. So let's just say that this is going to be my friend Dawn Taylor, and her phone number is 508-737-1118. Medical providers, Harvard Pilgrim. The policy number for my children is this. I can add some notes from the parents. Now, this is going to be the general information most likely for both children, because the emergency contact will most likely be the same for each. But I can now scroll down, and for each child, for this program, I want to make sure that I'm letting the camp director know certain things about each child. So we could say that Sean Abernathy, he has a peanut allergy. Okay, maybe we're giving away shirts, so I want to make sure that He's a small, so we'll make sure that he has a small shirt. And then also you have the ability to add in any custom questions that you want. Okay, I just left these as a generic custom question, but you can customize those to be whatever you need them to be. Now for James Abernathy, James is not allergic to peanuts. However, he is super scared of bees. He's not allergic, but he will freak out. Now, James is a little bit older, so he's going to take a medium shirt. And again, I have custom questions and answers for James's profile as well. Once you've completed the information about each child, this will take you to the general guidelines for the program page. Now, you can have different guidelines for each program. I'm assuming that there will be different guidelines for the swim team or the golf camp or the swim camp. So you can have different guidelines. However, it is required that the parents read those guidelines and initial before they move to the next step. From this area, what this will do is for this reservation, it will take me to the final confirmation page, which will tell me the total cost. It will also give me the breakdown for each child and the cost for each child. Once I get to this page, I would complete the registration. And then emails have been sent. You can also follow up with your registration ID. And one of the nice things about the system is that it will store your registrations in a database so that the members, if they can't remember whether or not they signed up, yes, of course, they can call the club. But what they can also do is they can also go online to look at their registrations page. Okay. Now, one of the things that I'd like to do now is I'm actually going to jump over into the administrative area of the website. Now, this will show you at a high level what those areas are. Before we jump into that, we will look at the My Registrations page, which by default, it will take you to the transaction view, which will show you all of the transactions that you have here. So every single registration. This can be very, as you can see, my demo person has signed up for everything under the sun. However, you can also transfer over to the session view, which will consolidate those registrations into a look and feel that's a little bit more digestible. And as you can tell, Francis Abernathy signs his kids up for everything. I could always click on the details to find out more information about that specific registration. Now let's move into the admin area of this program. I'm going to go up to my on-page editing toolbar, which most of you who are customers of MembersFirst, you will be familiar with this. I'm going to select over to Admin. I'm going to go to Admin Home. Now, the program registrations for the administrators, they would live down in this area for programs. Okay. However, I have added them to my quick links because I use them quite a bit. Now, the first thing we'll look at is the program registrations area. The program's registration area is a way to find out who's registered for what, and then you can also register people as well. So for example, if I wanted to create a new registration, let's just say the member walked in, or let's just say that somebody, if you continue to use forms, but you want to get them over to the database, you would actually click New, and you would say which program registration group are you registering them for, who is the member, and we'll say that this is Francis Abernathy. You can see that my children and my dependents are listed here, so we're going to sign up Sean for which program, and we're going to say that he's going to sign up for the 2017 Winter Junior program. And then it's going to tell me which week I want to sign them up for, and I'm going to say week 20 and 21. I can add a note and create now. This will create the registration just as if the member did it online. However, you also have the ability to edit the forms that are attached to this as well. So for example, I could go through and I could say the summer registration participant form. I could hit edit, add in any allergies, select the shirt, answer any custom questions. And then I could also add in any emergency contact information as well. Now I'm going to jump back to registrations. And one of the things that a lot of people will look for is looking to find out who's registered for which session, okay? So we might come in here and look at, I'm going to look at the programs. I want to look at only the active sessions. And I want to look at, we're going to look at just one of the programs that are in here. I'm just going to refresh my screen real quick. It looks like the internet's thinking. Oops. All right, looks like Google Chrome is telling me I need to restart, so we'll give that 1 second, and I'm going to jump back into it. Okay, we're going to start from scratch. We'll jump back over to the admin home. We'll jump over to program registrations. I'm going to select the program. So we're going to look at the 2017 After School Spring Program. And I'm going to select the session. And then what it's going to do is it's going to tell me the people who have already registered for it. So this is the booking member. I've signed up my son James, and it's currently active. Now, if somebody wants to take a printed out, most junior programs are going to be on the move. So let's just say the camp director wants to take the registration list on a clipboard. They certainly can. All they would need to do is export the registrations, and that will export it out into an Excel file, which they can manipulate and add any attendance lists possible. However, in that export, it will also have the information. You can carry over the information, such as your notes, contact information, different ways to sort it, which is a great way to be able to make sure that if somebody is allergic to bees, do they have an EpiPen, are they allergic to peanuts, whatever the case may be, you can have all that information right in front of you as they are navigating the camp. Now, one other great thing about program registrations is that our email component. Most of you are familiar with our email messaging application. So I'm going to just add a proof here, and I'm going to say junior program. The nice thing about the email marketing tool combined with the the junior programs is that you can now target each session. So for example, let's see if I jump down in here. Let's see where they have that. Where did they go? That might not be turned on. Give me 1 second here. Okay, it looks like that might be adjusted. I'm going to walk through how you can send this through this. It's actually the same way you would send out a targeted email to events. So for example, the same way that I can send an email out to a specific event, I can send out information to a specific event, such as the bingo night or happy hour, and then I could send it out to people who have registered for that. The same process happens when you actually send out the emails for the junior programs. So as an example, what you can do is, let's just say that there's inclement weather and you need to be able to send out an email specifically to the people who are attending that program for that specific day. You could certainly do so. You could target each individual session. That way, when you're sending the email out, only the parents are receiving the emails that are attending that session. So for example, if you have inclement weather and you need to be able to let everybody know to make sure that they bring a raincoat and something to play with inside the club, because you're still going to have the program, but they're going to adjust the schedule, that's one thing that you can do. So the same way that you would use the email marketing tool to target your events, you can do the same thing for your program registrations. On this list here, what you would have is an option that says programs, and you would select the program similar to what I've done with the event registrations. Now, there's a lot of different things that you can do with program registrations. We won't go into too much detail as to how to create all the different programs because each one is unique. And what we would want to do is certainly have you connect with, whether it's myself, or you could certainly connect with your client services manager. So basically, the best way to do it is to send us over what you currently are operating. If you have any current PDFs, any forms, any different types of sessions, what we would love to do is take a peek at it and help you go through how the junior programs would be set up. So that concludes the webinar today, and certainly what we will do is stay on the line to answer any questions that anybody has. So what I'm going to do is actually go back to my GoToWebinar, pull up questions, and answer them in the order that they've been received. Okay, it looks like the first question that's come in here. Thank you, Christine, for saying this. It looks like, how do you handle non-member registrations? We have several guests of members that attend our summer programs. They would have to be added as members first, but we don't want to get other emails and such. How do you best add them? So our recommendation, okay, granted the junior program registrations module is designed for members. However, we understand that their children are going to be bringing friends to their group. Or in the same case, you might have grandparents who are going to be bringing children of members, or excuse me, their children's children when they're visiting in town. Our recommendation is to, in your database, what you will want to do is if it's a grandparent bringing a child or a grandchild, what you would want to do is make sure that that grandchild is set up in your member database as a dependent. Okay, so that way if that grandparent is signing them up in the future, that grandchild is attached to their profile. That's one way to do that. Now, if they're bringing friends, another way to do it is to be able to create a junior program guest profile. Okay, and that would be a generic guest that you would be able to add that. However, parents would not necessarily be able to do that. In most cases, if it is a non-member, you know, we would recommend that at least that parent contact the club. That's another way to do it. My best recommendation would be to work with you directly and just go through kind of, you know, does this happen often? How many people are doing it? Do you need specific names? Do you need all the waiver, are the parents signing off on the guidelines for that child? We would love to learn a little bit more about how you're operating that now. And then what we can also do is kind of work with you to do some specific ways to change out that information. But the easiest way is to be able to have that person attached to the member's profile, most likely because there's going to be fees associated with it. Great question. Okay, we've got another one in there. This must be from somebody who actually has the new MembersFirst mobile app. So it looks like, can we send push notifications to people in the junior programs? The answer is yes. The one caveat is that you would, in order to send push notifications, you would need to have the MembersFirst mobile app. However, the push notifications have nothing to do with the junior programs, but what you can do is that you can send a push notification. It's the same way that you would send an email. So the targeted email for each individual session, you would actually go in and select push notification and then select the session that you're sending it to. So the answer is yes, you can send push notifications. However, you would need to make sure that you have the MembersFirst mobile app, and then what it would do is you would be able to use the messages marketing tool to be able to send that out to the parents. Great question. Okay, we've got a couple more in here. Let me just take a quick peek at this. So it looks like, is it possible to have the registration summary with selected fields from the form exported to a PDF form? Unfortunately, not at this point. What we're trying to do is help people kind of move away from kind of PDFs. If you still want to have it exported in a PDF, my recommendation is that the junior program module might not be a good fit for you. What we would recommend doing is that if you still need it in a PDF, then my recommendation is probably to stick with your current form solution. Unfortunately, at this point, the export tool does not export out to a PDF. Okay, we've got another question in here. Let me just take 1 second to read it. Okay, great. So this one says, our summer programs have 3 different groups and weekly sessions. Some families have kids in different groups and or different sessions. The question is, how would we set that up and how would we allow parents to register for that? So the best example is that, yes, you can have different sessions for each group, but what you would do is set those up probably in different programs. And then the children are attached, but you don't need to register the children for every single session. For example, you can have, let's just say that I have 3 children attached to my account, but my older 2 kids are going to actually be going to the golf camp, and my younger child is going to actually go to the swim camp on the same day. You can actually create all the registrations in one area, so your parents are filling out one registration form, but they're selecting different sessions. So it's a great question, but what we would do is want to look at how you set up your weekly sessions. We would most likely recommend setting them up in different programs and then allowing the parents to sign up which child is going to individual programs. Okay. So the registration summary. So the registration summary, it looks like in regards to exporting an attendance list. So the attendance list, again, when you do export it out to Excel, you can actually manipulate which fields you want to keep. So if you want to highlight the allergy fields, you can keep those. However, what it would be doing is it would keep everybody onto one page versus individual PDFs. So I think that that's kind of a follow-up question off that part of it. Okay. There's one question about multi-session discounts and sibling discounts. Unfortunately, at this time, it doesn't, the system set up for pricing only allows you to indicate what the price of that program is. So basically, if you have something where if I sign up for 5 programs, I get the 6th one free, or however you set that up, unfortunately, the system is not smart enough to calculate which ones are going to be discounted. My recommendation is that if you have those types of multi-package discounts or multi-child discounts, then my recommendation would be to put that in the information list, but then do not use the charging component within this. The system, unfortunately, was not set up to calculate all of the different types of discounts that clubs could have. Custom questions, depending on how many custom questions you want, the question was what types of custom questions can you add, and is there a limit? I'd have to double check on a limit. My recommendation would probably not to have more than 5, but I could confirm with our development team to see how many questions there are. Again, what we would want to do if you're considering using the junior programs registration module is that we would love to take a look at what you're currently asking. That way we can give you the best recommendations for your specific program. With the amount of programs with the amount of clubs that we've implemented this program at, each one is completely different. So what we would want to do is take a look at what you're currently offering, and it may already be on your website through custom forms, but what we would want to do is take a look at that in order to, make a best recommendation. So one of the custom questions, you have a lunch option for each day. You wouldn't be able to set up the lunch option for each day with each session unless you actually set it up, as individual programs. However, what it looks like is that there's a variety of different drop-downs that you can use. So, for example, the shirt size, that literally could have said box lunch. Now, that also could have said in the box lunch, it could have said turkey, ham, or beef. However, what we would want to do is take a look at what types of options you're looking to offer, and then we would recommend how you would set that up best. Now, one of the other questions that came through was looking at an example of how to sign up multiple children for different events. So I'm actually going to jump over to, let's jump back over to the administrative side. And I'll show you a quick example of that. So I'm going to log back in as a member. I'm going to jump to my junior programs. And I'm actually going to select Show All Sessions. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to say I'm going to sign up for week 16 and 17, as well as 6 and 8 of the junior program and the after-school program for week 2. Now, what this tells me is that I've got three different programs with multiple sessions. So I'm going to so currently right now, James is unable to go to those. I would have to see which, I can see that somebody's already registered here. But I'm going to sign up Francis and Sean for this session, Francis for that one, and then for the junior program, it's going to be just Francis. And then I would continue to the next step and go through the process to register those. So that's how you would sign up for multiple sessions for multiple programs. And it can be different for each child. Great question. Okay, we're just about at the time here, so what I want to do is I'll take a quick look to see if there's any more questions. Okay, great. Looks like that's answered all the questions. Certainly, I'll put my contact information back up here on the screen. So certainly you can feel free to email any questions, email me directly, or feel free to reach out to your client services manager to basically take a look at how you're currently doing your junior programs, and then what we would do is jump on a specific call with you so that we can go through how we would recommend setting up your program to best fit your club. Thanks again for joining us for the Junior Program Registrations webinar. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you.